Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is A Small Line Books. My name is Kayomi and today I have for you a brief 2022 reflection with my 2023 intention. Before I start this video, I need to get a microphone for this channel, for sure, but I'm right by the window and I live in New York and it's some construction going outside, so please excuse the noise in the background. I hope it's not too bad. We'll see. So let me jump right into it. I have my little booklet of notes here, but when I want to think back about 2022 and how my reading went, it was a really good reading year for me personally. In 2021, I didn't make any specific intentions for 2022. I just set out to have a reading goal of 35 books, which felt doable but still something to be achieved. I don't like setting goals that are not achievable, because I want to challenge myself, but I also don't want to be unrealistic and then feel really bad and shitty afterwards. So I set my goal to read 35 books, and other than that I didn't really have any intentions besides that and using the library more. So what actually happened was I read 48 books, and it felt good to read more than I bargained to read, right? So yeah, 48 books I read, and 16 of those were audiobooks from the library, and in total I borrowed 29 books from the library. So yeah, and the rest were books that I owned. Of those books, 44 books were by women. 44 out of 48 were by women, and 2 were by non-binary authors, and 2 were by men. I just don't gravitate towards books that are written by men. It's nothing against them. I just prefer books by women, so that's really all that really happened there. And then I had read about 6 or 7 books for my book club, which we started this year, and that was one of the highlights of my year, was starting a book club here in Brooklyn with some friends and their friends, and it just really pushed me to read more and read other people's picks for books. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing a video of my top 8 books of the year. I don't have a top 10, but I have a top 8. So I was thinking about doing my top 8 books of the year. We'll see when I get some time to film that. So I didn't really have much intentions going into 2022, but it was probably my best reading year ever. I think I read the most books ever in my life in 2022. Yeah, pretty much. And my thoughts of the year were that I got a lot of interesting books. Some wowed me, but I haven't really felt wowed by a book in such a long time, so I'm looking for more of that in 2023. So moving on to 2023 intentions, I have a couple of things happening this year that I'm really excited about in terms of reading. So my first goal intention is I'm joining 2 challenges. So the first challenge is one that I created myself, and you can feel free to join along if you would like, but this is just a personal challenge for myself because I'm interested in it, and it is reading 5 books from the Harlem Renaissance period, so meaning books that were written or published during the Harlem Renaissance. And if you don't know, a brief little thing is that the Harlem Renaissance was a period between 1917 and the mid-1930s where it was a revival of African American art, literature, politics, dance, fashion, and music. And it happened in Harlem, but its reach went way beyond that. And it was originally called the New Negro Movement, and now historians refer to it as the Harlem Renaissance. But it was something that was actively happening. It's not something that we're looking back on and putting something on it. It was a very intentional movement. Anyway, I'm really interested in that type of time period because of the migration aspect of African Americans moving from the south to the north for a better life, and I'm just interested in what the 1920s was like. And I had that challenge started this year, and I have 5 different authors who I hope to read and their books that are published and just learn more about a different time period. The second challenge is a challenge I saw on Instagram done by Reggie Reads, and it's the 10 books, 10 decades challenge, where you basically read 10 books from 10 different decades, regardless of like which decade. It doesn't have to be in chronological order, but you read 10 books that are published in 10 different decades. So I have a list. I'm doing it in chronological order, so I'm starting from 1920s to 2010s. And that's really exciting to me because it gives me a lot of chance to read books that I already have, read backlist titles, and read those classics that I've always wanted to read but didn't pick up. I can now pick it up because I have a reason to, and it's this challenge. So hopefully that goes well. I already mapped out the list of books that I'm going to read for this challenge, so hopefully that goes well. So the other thing I didn't mention, I should have mentioned first, is overall I want to read 40 books this year. Every year I add 5 on to my challenge. So last year was 35, this year is 40, and that feels really doable to me, so I hope I can get it done. But I'm really trying to I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, I'm going to read 100 books a year, because I just feel like it's a lot of pressure, and I want to really savor the books that I'm reading. So 40 feels like that middle ground number where like I can do it, but it's also a challenge, but I can still remember the books that I'm reading. So 40 books for this year. Other goal I have this year is to read 12 books by Caribbean or Caribbean heritage authors. So I already read Caribbean books a lot, like my shelves are packed and filled with Caribbean books, some that I have not even read yet. So I'm hoping to read at least 12, so that gives me 1 Caribbean book per month. I'm sure that I might maybe like read more than 12, but like I would like to read 12. Number 5, I'm going on a very strict no book buying ban, or like book buying ban, because I have a problem, and I think we all have this problem of like wanting to buy books, go to bookshops and stuff. And I just have so many books. Like I have not read a lot of books that you even see behind me, and I counted about 110 unread books in my house. So that seems like enough books to get through like the next 3 years, to be honest. So I really need to like get on that and read the books I already own. So yeah, and it will save me a lot of money in the long run. I know that I'm going to want new releases, so here's how I'm combating some of this. Number 1 is I'm going to use my library and use it, especially for new releases. So I've already started putting on hold books that are coming out in end of January, February, so I can be the first person in the library to get that book, hopefully. So that's what I'm doing, utilizing the public library. I live like down the street from one, which is really cool. So I'm going to do that. And then my caveat is if I need a book for book club and the library does not have it, and like on time, like I'm going to really prioritize the library having my book club book. But if it doesn't have it, I'm going to go to a used bookstore and buy the book from there, because it's cheaper and it's just helping the local economy. So yeah, I'm really trying to stay away from the hype of buying new books as they come out and then not even reading it until 3 years later anyway. So at number 6, or was that 6? I think it was 6. We'll see. Is 23 books for 2023. So I've already picked out 23 books I'm planning to read this year. And those are all books that I already own, so this will kind of help with number 5 of like my book buying ban and tackling my TBR. And I might do a little video of what the 23 books are that I plan to read this year, but like if that's interesting to you, let me know and I'll make a video about it. But yeah, this is just another way of me trying to really tackle that TBR of mine and really stop buying books that I'm not going to read in the next couple of months. Like I have books I bought like when they now came out and I have not read them, and it's been 5 years. Like what is going on with me? Okay. Some other bookish things I have planned in the pipeline this year. Obviously I want to be more active on YouTube. Sometimes I get really busy at work, and I'm gonna be realistic with myself. I'm not gonna release a video every week or something like that, but this is like a nice outlet for me to, you know, share books with people, look back on things after a while and see what I was reading a year ago or a couple months ago. My friend who lives in the Cayman Islands, she and I are hoping to start a podcast, so more on that soon, but it would obviously be a bookish podcast, and we're gonna focus on African, Caribbean, and just Black books in general. So I'm excited about that. And I will definitely release more information about that once we have everything put together. yeah, and I just hope to be in more community with people, go to more bookish events, literary events, and just have a more fulfilling bookish life, basically. So that is really it for all of my 2023 intentions. I didn't want to get too crazy with these intentions. I want to be really realistic and work towards goals that are achievable, and really have a good time and have fun, because this is what it's about. It's about having fun, and I think there's a tendency to make this feel like school, or make it feel like the end of the world if you don't finish your challenge or you don't finish your reading goal. I'm not trying to invite that type of energy into my life, so I'm trying to be a little easier on myself and live a soft life. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy this video, and if you're interested in seeing my 23 for 2023 or my top 8 books of 2022, let me know and I will get on that. It was nice talking to you guys. I hope you have a blessed 2023. Thanks for watching, and thanks for lining with me here at A Small Lion Books. Bye!